England's first woman executed for witchcraft. But was she really a witch? Or just a poor widow, punished for surviving? In 1566, an old woman was dragged through the streets of Essex. Her name was Agnes Waterhouse. Her crime? Owning a cat. And living without a man. They said she cursed children. They said her cat could speak. They said she had made a pact with the devil. But behind the story of England's first witch execution is a truth the courts buried and the history books forgot. Agnes wasn't evil. She was inconvenient. It began not with a hex or a potion, but with a child. A 12-year-old girl named Agnes Brown. She accused the old widow of witchcraft, of making her ill, of killing neighbors with spells, of feeding a black cat that whispered dark commands. The cat's name was Satan. They said it drank blood. They said it danced. They said it was the devil in fur. Agnes Waterhouse didn't deny everything. She said, "I gave him bread and milk. He bade me to do harm. I did." She was tired. She was hungry. She was alone. And in a world ruled by fear and men, that was enough. Because Agnes didn't confess to sorcery. She confessed to grief, to loneliness, to needing comfort. She had lost a child. She had no husband. She kept animals close. She read books. She spoke her mind. And in Tudor England, that made her dangerous. Witch trials were never really about magic. They were about control. Agnes Waterhouse was poor. She was female. She was unapologetically alive in a world that wanted her obedient, silent, or gone. So they made her a monster. They put her on trial. They called her unclean. They called her a liar. They called her unnatural. But the truth, the witch was never Agnes. The real darkness was a system built to fear women like her and to destroy them. In July 1566, Agnes Waterhouse was executed. She was the first woman in England to be put to death for witchcraft. Her daughter Joan, also accused, was spared, this time. But the fires had already been lit. Her death opened the gates to centuries of trials, tortures, and executions. Not just in England, across Europe. And always, it was the same kind of woman. Outspoken, poor, too educated, too old, too strange, too free. Agnes was the first, but she was never the last. And even today, women are still punished, not for what they do, but for who they dare to be. Agnes Waterhouse is remembered as a witch, but we remember her as something else. A woman who dared to live in a world that wanted her ghost. Because when a woman is inconvenient, they don't just silence her, they turn her into a warning. What other women have they ghosted? How many more voices were drowned in fire and fear? Subscribe to Miss Ghost. Because history isn't dead, it's just been silenced.